All right, good morning. Hello. Welcome back to another day here. Sorry, I forgot I wasn't going to be streaming yesterday. I was at the dentist. Forgot to mention that on Monday, but here we are again, back on a fine Wednesday. And we're ready to work here. All right, so we're going to keep working on our Starship Editor tool stuff. Adjust my microphone a little bit here. So what we've got at the moment, oop, that's the wrong scene. This is like a pre-existing prototype ship design. So what we've got though, oh, I cannot click the right button. Oh, I'm not selecting the right scene. There we go. We've also got this now, which is 5 layers, editable area. I don't love the little grid outline image, but we can draw floors on the different layers. Or we can draw walls. Yeah, so we can do that. Kind of silly that we can draw grids of walls. Maybe I should restrict walls to be like a line tool. Maybe that would be good. We don't want to fill a space with walls. But I think first thing I want to do is put in like an undo redo or maybe an eraser tool. Something so that we can undo what we've done, because right now we don't have the ability to erase. I guess an eraser tool would be the easiest thing to do. Because we'd basically be treating that like a brush. Yeah, let's see how we do that. So eraser, here we go. So right now we are not changing the active brush and layer. We don't actually want to do that if we select the eraser. All we want to do is say active brush. So we do want to change the active brush. Actually, we can just change active brush and layer and submit brush.null. I don't really want to call it brush.null. I want to call it like the eraser, maybe. I don't know. Right now it's brush.null. Say change active brush and layer. We'll say brush.null. This should just work. We should be able to just paint with the eraser like we're painting with a regular brush. We've got a floor. We've got a wall. Now let's switch to the eraser. Okay. Yeah, it should work just the same. It only works on the layer that you're on, so you'll need to switch to another layer. And then switch back to the eraser. I don't love that. I don't want to bypass that step. This grid is just in the way. Oh, I need to figure out a better way of showing the space that you have to work in. Maybe we just do a hollow outline or a more sparse grid outline. I don't know how, but we need something. We need something better. So let's say, let's add a check to this. Let's say, if active brush not equal to brush dot null, then we'll change the brush. Well, no, that we have to do this a little differently. Or we just have to, for now, accept that when you switch brushes away from the eraser... I don't know. Maybe we want eraser to be like a mode rather than like a distinct brush name. Like if we're in eraser mode, then whichever brush we have selected, the floor, the wall, or the door, we just remove instead of add. Or we say something like eraser active. I don't know. Just say something like eraser active. It's not eraser active. That way it's a toggle, just toggleable. But now when we do a paint though, actually doing a mode is like kind of a pain in the ass. But let's see. Maybe we can just use paint over tile at let's see if we can just throw the mode in the paint over tile at, say, we'll say this if not eraser active, else tile brushes brush dot null. No, we need to do this a little differently. We'll say if not eraser active, do it this way. Move this down. Else this way. Let's see if that worked. Huh. It works for 1 frame. Then it goes back. It's weird. Okay, that didn't work the way I thought it would. Eraser active. You can get rid of this, right? Oh. Oh, the preview is down here. I see. If bounds has point. Not eraser active. Call this something like function paint preview at boards vector 2i. We'll do basically this, but without the brushstroke part. We'll say paint preview. No, not paint over tile at paint preview at mouse chords. See if that gives us what we want. So let's paint something and then let's. Now we're in eraser mode. Okay. Then, so we can hollow it back out, and then we undo eraser mode, and we're back. Okay, we did it, essentially. I've lost the ability to switch to the wall, which is suspicious. This is referring... Very weird what's happening right now. How did we do that? Paint preview at mouse chords. They changed the way change active brush and layer works. Oh, oops. Active brush equals brush. I did change how that worked. Alright, so we should be able to put down some stuff. And 2. And let's say, no, we don't want that, so Get rid of that. You can go down here, get rid of that. Okay, so we've got eraser. We need to grab this part, so... We want this. I want to put a copy of this up here. Okay, so we've got an eraser. Now let's think about undo redo. So right now what we're doing is when we paint over, we are recording to a brush stroke, and that's like specifically like what did we do last? It's like a record of what we did. And when we are done, we are adding this, the brush strokes array, which is like just an array of stuff. So, and we are incrementing the history index. History index should start at -1. And so if we do a Control Z, which we don't have in this list, so we want to say, I think I added these to the input map already. Ship editor undo action, ship editor redo action. I put Control Y and Control Shift Z. I feel like those are the common redo keybinds. Sorry, stretching here. Let's add the undo redo. Well, let's say I'd add undo first. Hey, Oyarikun. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Stretch. Oh, thank you. Can always use another stretch. All right, so if we want to undo, we basically go back. So we'll say if history index is greater than or equal to 0. Actually, I don't know. We don't need to increment the history index, do we? Oh, we do, because we're not necessarily popping off of the actual paint history, because we need to be able to keep the data for a redo until we branch. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. How are you doing? How are you doing today? If you're just lurking, don't worry about it. Don't feel like you have to chat. Hey, yeah, welcome to the chat. All right, so the history index is greater than or equal to 0. That means we've made some edit. And so if we're undoing, we are just going to go back to a previous version. So I need a function. So we've got things like reveal all hidden tiles, which basically resets all of the tiles. Oh. So we need to say, here's the brush stroke. So we need a special case for if history index is exactly 0. Or we need to just handle it in such a way. Let's handle it in such a way that that doesn't matter. Let's say something like if... We'll just write it out here, and then if we feel like we want to turn it into a function... Oh yeah, thanks. Are you doing any Godot dev? I feel like most people that stop by are also Godot developers. Or are you just game dev in general, or just hanging out? Surfing the channels? Okay, so we're going to say if brush strokes history index so we actually do need to. So let's say history index is 0. It's going to start 0, and on ready, we are going to add to our strokes array dictionary. We're going to just add one at the top. We're going to say brush strokes dot append dictionary dot new. We're just going to append an empty dictionary. So we're going to say if, so down here we're going to say if history index is greater than 0. So we're going to put a blank slate in here just to handle that case. So we're going to say if brush strokes history index -1 actually we'll say variable prior state maybe we'll say previous canvas like that. Previous canvas is brushstrokes history index -1. And we'll say for brush stroke. No, we can't say that. We can say for. We could say brush stroke, but we don't want to. We're going to say for boards in previous canvas. That's what that's the keys. For chords in previous canvas, we're going to basically say, what do we set? What do we store in brush stroke? Brush stroke stores the brush. The value is the brush, and the key is the chords. Oh, this is rough. No, we can't do it this way. Because the brush stroke is only recording what you actually are doing. We need to take a snapshot. We could handle this a couple different ways, but the simplest way to do it would be to take a snapshot. We need to restore an old state. Well, actually, all we're doing is undoing. Okay, no. I got it. So we're just going to look at... We're going to say brushstroke. Brushstroke is brushstrokes history index. We're going to grab this, and we're basically going to just reverse what we did. But we need to know what it was before. This is the tricky part. So having a history of the brushstrokes is not sufficient. If it's not obvious, I have not done an undo redo function like this before. I've saved the whole state and just undone a whole state. But we're being specific here. So we got ads, so I'm going to just think about this while the ads are running. It would be good if the brushstroke remembered what was there before it went down. It's almost like we want a transaction that has what it was and then what it is. That's the easiest way to do it. So what we do here is we set a tile ID. But what we could do is just set a couple of enums. We could say it was a floor and now it's a wall. I think that's sufficient. Let's look at brushstroke. Let's look at this dictionary. Let's look at how we use this. Not sure why we clear it here when we go up or down a level. Oh, because we're in the middle of a... I see. Yeah, that's fine. But when we add to it, so we say brushstroke has brushstroke.erase. So this is for the preview. Okay, so we're not interested in the preview. What we're interested in is specifically the paint over tile function. So the paint over tile. So we don't want to, we're saying paint over, and we want to know what was painted over. So when we record the brush stroke, we don't want to record just the active brush. We want to record what was here. I don't like my painting analogy. I feel like it's started getting out of control. I might change it. I might refactor away from that. We want to say something like variable existing paint. Pre-existing paint? I don't know. Pre-existing paint. I want to come up with a better... I want to just say an old paint, new paint. Old paint. Tile ID. Equals tile ID dot get. I'll just copy this part. I broke something up here. What did I break? Strokes.append dictionary.new. Cannot find constant new. Okay. We just say this. So we don't need to do this part. We would say brush strokes, history index, -1. Yeah, I'm gonna move away from this analogy. It's like confusing to me. Painting. Okay, so the old paint is tile ID.get tile ID. So it's whatever's currently here. This works for now, but I actually don't think we want to do this on a permanent basis. I think we want to just note what the... well, we can't just note what the brush is. It's going to be more complicated than this. It's going to be like, what's the brush and what's the palette the brush selected, and like what's the paint on the palette. Yeah, so, but for now, let's just use tile ID. It's a little bloated, but who cares? Or it's not sufficient. It's once we introduce the auto tiler, we're not going to be able to do it that way. We're going to say hidden tiles. Old paint. Yeah, this is rough. So if the eraser is not active, we're going to see the brush stroke. Towards it's not tile brushes dot active brush. See, we are recording brushes. So for the history, we're recording brushes, but for the working memory, which is like the stuff we're temporarily covering up, you know, maybe we can get rid of this preview concept. Maybe we can use if we're putting what was painted over in the brush stroke. Huh. I think that's reasonable. I think having the concept of the preview is okay. We might have that be a separate concept. Maybe not, though, because the paint preview works on the same canvas as the brushstroke. I don't know. There's many ways to do this. Let's just work with what we got. It's awkward. We can refactor it later. So maybe we don't store... Maybe we do store a tile ID here. Tile.get tile ID. Then we need to be able to reference which brush. We need to be able to, like, reverse lookup. We could use, like, index of... Does Array have an index of? I feel like it must. It doesn't have an index of. But when you say find, do you get back an index? Returns this index. Okay, cool. Fine. So we can say that. We can just say, for now, as a stopgap, we'll just say we want brush stroke to refer to. Where is it? Here we go. So we want to say, instead of tile brush is active brush, we want to say is a new. We need a new data structure for this now. So we have tile ID. Let's have like a paint stroke. So we have tile ID, which are the specific IDs into a tile set. We also need a tile. We're going to record what the old tile was. Did we just call it tile change? Maybe tile swap. Let's call it tile swap. I think tile swap might mean something else, though, to most people. But I think that's fine. Do that. So let's make a new script. It's going to be an object. It's going to be called tile swap. That's all we're ever going to be doing is swapping a tile with another tile. Does not need to inherit node. It's going to inherit ref counted. I think that's the correct choice here. We don't want to manage the memory of it. Swap the class name, tile swap, the variable will say old tile. Is it going to be a tile ID? No, it shouldn't be. It should be a tile brush. But that's not that enum is not universal. Tile is like a pre-existing concept in Godot, right? Like, you can't just make a tile function or a tile class. Tile pre-exists, right? It might not exist in the strict sense of things. Let me see. Tile. Tile data. Tile set. I don't know if we should call something just tile, though. It could just be an integer, right? You could just say brush and just make it an integer. It would just reference this. That's probably not as good as having it actually be an enum. I don't know. I'm not super comfortable with enums. So let's just say, make it a make it a tile ID for now. I'll say func in it, and we'll say from tile ID to tile ID. Oops, tile ID. Turn tile swap dot new. Oh no, that's not right. Oh, we just set the self dot new tile is from tile. Actually, just say this. I need the self stuff. It's a little more clear that way, though. Oh, this is a void. This isn't actually returning anything. This will work. I want like a static function that can handle this for me. Static func swap tiles. Swap tile. we just need to know layer and the coords. We need to know where. We need to know brush. Or no, we need to know the tile ID. Better. And it encapsulates a lot. I would say layer dot set cell towards tile dot source ID. No, this is muted. This is mutating state. I don't love that it's mutating state, but we almost want to have this somewhere else if we want to have that at all. We'd want to have that on like a modified tile map layer script. We'll probably get to eventually. We'll probably kind of do our own thing. Go back to the ship editor. We'll work with what we've got here. So we're going to say we were working here. Yeah. That hidden tiles. Oh, old paint. I almost want to get rid of this second working area called hidden tiles. Now that we have this tile swap piece, we can just swap back. Or we should be able to swap back pretty easily. Let's see. Let's set it up and then see if we can do it. So if not eraser mode, brushstroke, coords instead. So brushstroke is not going to be just full of paintbrushy nums. Even though that's probably what it should be. For now, it can just be tile IDs. And so we're going to say brushstroke coords. It's going to be tile ID, not tile ID, tile swap.new. The variable new paint is so we don't really need to save the old paint, do we? Tile brushes, active brush. Make this a ternary. So now we have a new brushstroke. Where else do we use this? I've got clear, duplicate, got erase chords. Okay. Does this still work? Should still basically work the way I've done this. How did that behave weirdly? Okay, so everything still works. So, but we should have the functionality we need to implement a basic undo. So now we're going to say if history index greater than 0, no, is greater than or equal to 0. We're just going to flip everything. Just play this backwards now. Brushstroke is brushstrokes. History index, we're going to say, we're going to take this, basically, we're going to change this. So we're going to say for chords in for each set of coordinates in brushstroke. Oh man, we need a lot more information than we're currently saving. Like, this won't work when we're changing layers. Maybe it should be an area that we save and not a specific coordinate. Like, not make it a dictionary. Yeah, because this undo needs to work regardless. We should almost record the entire action is what we should record. So let's go back. Get rid of this for a second. So we get rid of the compile error. So tile swap. It's not just the new tile for the old tile. For one thing. Oh yeah, shoot. There might be multiple different old tiles. We really do need to, like, save the whole state somehow. Would that be just the easiest thing to do? Just grab, so we go to the tile map layer. We just pull. We just don't fuck around with this. We could instead. We can do something with the tile map data, the packed byte array. We can make all the changes. Pull. Pull a packed byte array. And then if we want to undo that, we just set it back to that. That's the way to do it. Forget about all this. Forget about everything I've been talking about. We're just going to take it's a small enough piece of information that we're going to just take it. The question, though, is... Well, we just need to know what the layer is. We need the packed byte array. We need to know what layer it was operating on. At the moment, I don't think... Maybe I should let people paint multiple floors at a time. Like if you drag across a floor and then you go down a floor, you can paint multiple floors. That's a lot harder. I don't have to support that right now. Again, I have to remember that this tool is primarily for myself. And I want to engineer it in a smart, good way, so tile swap might go away. We might just get rid of this whole concept. What we might want to do instead... So... Get rid of a bunch of this. I don't want to rewrite most of this. Let's just say... We've got our history index. Let's just say we also have our variable tile history. It's going to be an array of packed byte array. call this layer bounds. That's what it is. Where are we referencing bounds? Just do a swap. Bounds. They're not just a find and replace. Okay. Let me be clear about what we're talking about here. All right, so we've got our tile history. It's going to be an array, a packed byte array. It would be efficient to just... I mean, let's just... I actually don't know how big a packed byte array is going to be, but this is the simple way to do it. The more complex way, keep track of all the changes that we make. I don't know. The other way, we need to keep track of the layer, the area. The layer and the area we change, and we need to be able to roll it back. And that's the problem. To undo it, you need to know what you painted over. It's so much easier to just probably push the packed byte array. So because we can say something like, so when a brushstroke is finished, instead of this brushstrokes.append shit, we just say tile history. Hey Cubus. Tile history dot append. Append array. Oh, it's just an array. That's not what we want. We want to append. We want an array of packed byte array. That's what I did, right? Yeah, an array of packed byte array. How's it hanging? So we'll append. At the moment, I don't know. I don't know how crazy I want to get. The smart, not the smart thing to do, but the complete thing to do would be to store all of the tile map layers. That's got a lot of wasted memory. That stream ping did its job? Good. The hyperlink didn't work, but I think as if I add the like prefix, like the HTTPS stuff, I think it should work next time. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I need to add a panel to the stream so that people know I have a Discord now. But yeah, we're wrestling with the how we want to implement undo redo, and it's kind of tedious because we could just record the changes, but if we record the changes, we also have to record like what it changed from, what it changed to, for whatever specific tiles actually changed after a given action, or we could just take a snapshot of like the whole tile map layer and then just store it whenever there's a change. The only issue with that is we have multiple layers. So we'd either need to store all the layers in like an array, like a bigger packed byte array, which we can do. That's doable for sure. I don't love that. We would just append another packed byte array onto it, and we would just need to slice it. But we'd know the size. Let's just see what the size of this array is to see if like we actually run into a performance issue doing this. Let's just say we have an active layer. No, we need to do it down here when we actually have an active layer. So let's say print active layer dot tile map data dot size. See how big this is. Oh, wrong scene. I was like, what? Callable. Oh, we need to actually copy this into something. Variable. Layer. Data. Equals active layer. Tile map data. Layer data dot size. I'm just worried about the history getting huge if we're just storing the full. Like, I would love to just store the diffs, but that seems like it's more complicated, and I'm kind of willing to take the hit. Why does it say size callable? I just... Oh, is it a callable? Do I need to... I'm an idiot. Do I need to actually call it? The right scene. Show me the right scene. 0. That's, oh, that is right. Let's say grid layer. Let's say grid lines dot get node grid layer 0. Grid layer. Tile map data dot size. Will this work? Oh, this won't run yet. Forget it. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go... You can tell me. So, an empty tile map has no tile data. Oh, so maybe there isn't a huge... Maybe there isn't a huge memory problem. Although, again, we have this problem of we need to just take multiple layers worth. A little out of my element here, but we're going to figure it out. It's going to report all of their sizes. Just see what we get. $938, $530, $26.0, $1332, $1610, $1490, $72, $722, $74. Okay, so this actually isn't too bad, because we're not actually... It's actually smart about how it stores it. And that's the number of bytes. So that's not actually a huge... That's really not a huge amount of information. Be a pretty trivial amount. Yeah, let's just save the whole thing. Fuck it. Anytime we make a change, we're just going to take a snapshot of the whole set. The only other thing is that we need... all the snapshots. File history. Let's make a new script. Create. Inherit from ref counted. We're going to make something that we're going to call the tile map snapshot. Oops. Tile map snapshot. It can't just be the snapshot by itself because we're actually going to build it. We're going to build this to be flexible. That's going to be the goal. Class name. I know there's like some hard-coded solutions that we could just lean on. Tile map. Snapshot. Tile map snapshot. Probably just call it tile snapshot, huh? Do that. I kind of like tile map snapshot. Tile map snapshot. All right, so this is going to have a variable. Going to have a tile map data. Going to be a packed byte array. Have a variable. We're going to have a layer count. It's going to be an integer. We're going to have a layer sizes. It's going to be an array of integers. Variable, all static function, add tile, add layer to data. It's going to take a, let's say layer data. And let's call it append layer data. This is also going to be a packed byte array. This isn't a static function. It's just a regular function. I don't know why I put static. regular function, append layer data. It's gonna say, we're gonna say tile map data dot append array. Layer data. We're gonna say layer count plus equals 1. We're gonna say layer sizes dot append file map data dot size we'll do that part first, and we're gonna say a couple of things. We're gonna say so do we need to protect? What happens if we try to append an array that's empty? I guess we could just wait, see. We could just wait and see if that causes a problem or not. So we'll need something else. Let's just see if this works. Let's start with this much. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this isn't going to be an array of packed byte data. This is going to be an array of tile map snapshot. We're going to start at 0. I hope this behaves the way I expect it to. Or child in worship deck in ship hall dot get children Oh, it's worse than that. I forgot. There's multiple decks, and each deck has its own layer. How do I want to deal with that? We could say we could have a deck count. Variable deck count, integer, deck sizes. We actually don't need this to know about that. We can just... We can do that on our end. We don't need the tile map snapshot to know about that. So we say first ship deck and ship hull.get children. Yeah, this is maybe overkill. So then we'd say for each ship layer in ship deck. Yeah. I feel like figuring this out or keeping track of individual changes would have been easier than what I'm trying to do right now, which is just like take a full snapshot of the ship whenever we do whenever we finish something, and then roll the whole thing back if we do an undo action. But maybe that's the right way to approach it, depending on how complex the brushes get for the tile map editing. Like, what if you have patterns that you can throw down? Like, what if you have a pattern where you're like, this is a room, I just want to paint this whole room at once. And now you're like, I want to undo the room. Well, the room probably is on multiple layers. So we need to figure that out anyway. I'm a little concerned about how slow this is going to be, but I also don't know if I care. Because this is just an editor tool. This is like going to be the only thing that's running when it's running. It's not going to be running like within the game loop. So we iterate through all the decks, and each deck has multiple layers. And so what we need to do, we need to make a new, we need to say variable initial snapshot equals tile map snapshot.new. I maybe need to initialize my arrays when I declare the new tile map snapshot. So we'd say initial snapshot.append layer data. And the layer data is going to be ship layer dot tile map data. Deck dot get children. This is moderately unsafe, but figure this out. We have an error somewhere. Map data dot append array layer data. Expected indented block after function declaration. Is this just... Oh, never mind. Everything's fine. Oh, we're running. Okay. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I forgot that we're actually running. Okay, well, we didn't crash. Good. Look at the tile history. It's an array of size 0. Oh, we're not actually adding this to anything. All right, adds. I forgot something. Okay, so again, no crash. Look at the remote tree. Tile history, size 1. Let's look at this object. Layer count 24. Layer sizes should all be 0. Okay, well, no errors. Packed byte array. All right, this kind of worked. We didn't need to initialize anything. Everything's self-initializing. Love that. All right, now we need to actually see if we can make this function. This is really stupid. How I'm doing this. But it's simple. So that's okay. So we've got our append layer data, which is what we want. We need some kind of like decode. We need to like do like a slice. Can we set using a slice? Or inserting somewhere at? Oh, we just have to encode. I hope we don't have to do that. I hope we can encode a hole. Not fill. I don't want to insert. I want to like... Go find slice. Returns the slice of the byte array. Yeah, okay, so that... as a new packed byte array. This is how we pull data out, is we're going to slice. But the question is, am I going to have to rebuild this each time from scratch? I mean, I guess that's the simplest, dumbest way to do it. But I was hoping that I could replace whole sections of it. But that seems like maybe not how packed byte array works, which makes some sense. That's fine. That shouldn't be that big a deal. Actually, no, we do need to build it from scratch because it's a different snapshot. We aren't going to be ever going to be editing this. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to our snapshot. We're going to say function. We're going to say like func slice layer data. And we're going to say we're going to say layer index. And we're going to return a packed byte array. We're going to return tilemap data dot slice to the beginning. Layer index is a little weird, so we're going to say recording sizes may not be the way to do this. Or maybe we should say layer starts. Maybe we should also record a layer starts. Variable layer starts array integer. Their indices. Maybe we say begins, layer begins. We just keep a running tally. Say variable. Hey, Fody. It's interesting. We're doing our own little tile map editor tool, which functions, you know, strictly speaking. I say as I run it and it crashes. But we can, like, you know, we can paint floor tiles and wall tiles, and we can erase them. You know, we can do all the basic stuff. We're implementing an undo redo tool right now. Is what we're doing at the moment, so that we can go back and forth. And I'm doing it like the stupidest way possible. We've got multiple layers where I'm using like a snapshot and like a rollback system. So anytime there's a change to the tile map, we're taking a snapshot of the whole thing, and then we're just gonna roll it back. Stupid but simple. Thank you, thank you. I'm kind of worried about when we get to this part where we want to, like, here's like an existing ship, so we have like a visual cutaway system. I think I want to change how the doors work. I don't like these semi-transparent doors, but we have like a cutaway system. And I need the cutaway system to also work with the tile map editor so that we can, like, see what we're working on, and that is going to be a trick, I think. But I think we're going to have a really cool tool for ourselves, and the tool runs in-game, so I'm hoping to have, like, you know, having good tool support always in the game. You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, or whatever. If the gander is like the modders, I guess. You've done the exact same thing in a 2D editor previously. Works like a charm. Nice. Yeah, so that's kind of the world we live in. We're living in right now. Everyone's like, just focus on the game loop. And I'm like, no, I want to spend time on tools. Because I actually need to, like, rebuild this existing ship layout by hand otherwise, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want an editor with an auto tiler. I'm not laying out any more ships by hand, even though I'm spending so much work on making this tool set. Yeah, we don't have to worry about extremely... Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking, because it's kind of stupid to take a whole snapshot of the entire set of tile maps and all of the, like, 16 tile map layers or whatever I have. It's actually more than that. It's 20. Because each ship has 6 decks at the moment. And each deck has 4 layers for, like, floors, walls, doors, decoration, whatever. Because some of these things can overlap. So it's a lot to store, but packed byte array is pretty smart. So we're just making a... like, packed byte array doesn't waste space if it doesn't need to. So we're just making a snapshot based around packed byte array where we not compress, we're not actually doing any compression, but we pack the data all together. We take packed byte arrays for each layer and we add them to an overall packed byte array. And then now we just need a system to slice them apart. But I was just about to record a layer begins or index. But how are you? How's your work going? I see you all around Twitch chat, but I'm never quite aware of what you're doing. Yeah, it's efficient in terms of, like, how much thought I'm going to have to put into it. It's not efficient in terms of, like, the amount of memory we're going to generate, but that's fine. You save the document, quote unquote. You save the design, close it. We get rid of all of these snapshot histories. No big deal. Easy. But yeah, I kind of want to record a layer begins. So we'd say something like for size in layer sizes. And we'd say layer begins layer count plus equal layer sizes No, plus equal size. This should give us like a running tally. So whenever we append a new layer data, we know where the next layer begins. It'll be fine. Gotta pack here efficiently, more efficiently. Yeah. You're doing all right. Awesome. It's good to hear. You're taking a little break from the Captain Coder's jam. Got a little project which has tiled polyomino based level generation. You just need to tweak the way walls are laid out. That sounds really cool. Tiled polyomino. Tiled polyomino. Polyomino tiling. Learn new things. These are the new things. The tiling of the plane by specified types of polyominoes. Are polyominoes just different ways of representing like a box that's been unfolded or something? Non-periodic. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I see. Monoomino, domino, triomino. I get it now. Never mind. Pentomino, hexomino. Oh, this is super cool. Of course, it's like weirdly tied to the Fibonacci sequence. This looks really sweet. That's a fascinating way to do level generation. I would love to see that when it's done. Right now, it's just tetraominoes. You Google polyomino tiler, a little web app should be the first result. Super cool. Super cool. But yeah, I just put up a Discord if you want to connect the Discord. I have a share your work channel. It's like literally a brand new Discord for this week. But we have live stream alerts and we have some stuff. I'd love to see your jam when it's done, but no pressure. I know everyone has too many Discords they're in nowadays. But I wanted to issue the invitation nonetheless. Slice layer data. So how would this not work? So we say sizes. Size is 0, then it begins at 0. Oh, this won't work. Let's say we need a tally. Variable running tally is 0. Running tally. Forgot this is an array. Running tally. Running tile. Oops. Got tiles on the mind. Running tally. Plus equal size. And then we just say running tally. That should work to give us a... And I don't mind calculating it at when we add the thing rather than when we end at it. Yeah, thank you. No, thank you for accepting my invitation. That's cool. Yeah, I know a bunch of people are in some jams. I gotta check out Adagon's. I know some people are, and Adagon doesn't have a jam that's running right now, although he has a jam that's running soon. I mean, his wild jam. I said half a thought. And I was like, everyone has the context for this. But yeah, I know some people in the wild jam and the Captain Coder jam. I've sworn that I'm only going to do the Ludum Dares. Ludum Dares. Because I'm like, I don't have time to jam more than like a couple times a year. But that's exciting. Jams are so cool. If I didn't have a big project, I would only do jams. I'd do like the Fox Hollow style, or like, I know some other people that are doing that, where like they are almost exclusively jamming. Okay, what am I doing? Gotta focus. We're slicing the layer data out, and we're returning it. So we're gonna return tile map data dot slice. This should be fine. So we just say layer begins, layer index, and it ends at layer begins, layer index, plus layer sizes. No, that's not right. Let's also save a layer ends. How about that? Otherwise, we're gonna have to do the same thing where we tally up all of the sizes. I mean, I guess that's fine. We could probably just do that. You're hoping to do the same thing, exact same thing you're doing next year. 2024 is all about jams for you, and hopefully one of the projects will turn into something more serious. Yeah, that kind of caught me up too, because my last jam game, I was interested in it, and I kept working on it for like 2 months before. I mean, I realized at some point that all I was doing was polishing the basic jam game. Like, it didn't have legs to become anything more, but I still wanted to spend time on it. I still need to finish it and put the finished version up on itch. But yeah, if I was smart when I switched to Godot, I would have just done game jams for like at least a year, just to learn the engine and to try a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna change the way I do this. Instead of calculating this when, we're gonna forget about this. So we're gonna say variable begins at, say layer begins 0, and just say integer, and then for size in layers. Oh, in range, not in layer sizes. We want size in range. Is range exclusive or inclusive? Stops before. Okay. So in range, layer index. For index in range, layer index, layer begins plus equals layer sizes index. There we go. So that will give us their beginning point, because it will go through every layer before our layer. Gotta head out. No worries. Thanks, Cubus. Thanks for hanging. Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Fody. Thanks for stopping by. Awesome to hear about your project. Probably have to wrap it up soon anyway. Yeah, I do. I'm gonna have to pick this back up tomorrow. I have to head out in about 10 minutes or less. So that's the beginning. Then we're going to say variable layer ends. Integer. And then we're going to say, no, so layer begins integer equals layer begins plus layer sizes layer index. I might get a bunch of off by one errors, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay putting the work in the slice layer data, because I think append layer data we want to run as fast as possible, because that's just something that happens automatically when you're done making a change. We have to go through and save all the layers. But slice layer data is only going to really happen when we are doing an undo. So then we should be able to say return file map data dot slice layer begins, layer ends. The only issue we might run into is slice goes from 1 till the ending. So it seems like it indexes based on 1. So end is size, though, so the end should be correct. So we might need to just say +1. Yeah, we might need to add a +1. It might need to be layer begins +1. Or we just say layer begins at 1. 1. So it begins at 1. And then we add each size in all the layers before it. And then the layer ends where the layer begins, plus the layer size for this specific layer, which is not included in this range. Oh, returns an array with the given range. Oh, so I can just call the... I'm dumb. So I can just call for size in... So it would be... So I can just say layer sizes dot range layer index. Then we just add the size. What I'll find. Oh, wait. This just said that would work. Oh, the return is the number, not I see. Never mind. Never mind. Forget me. Forget what I'm talking about. What we had worked. It returns an array, and the array is just a bunch of numbers. It's just the numbers from... Okay, okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so this portion of it should work. Famous last words. I'm gonna snooze this ad because I gotta be out of here in a relatively short amount of time. All right, so what we're gonna do. So now let's go down to the undo action. So we're going to say if history index is greater than 0. Forget this brushstroke stuff. We're going to say... Well, for one thing, we want to make a new... Let's make a function. Oops. Yes. We want like a take tile map function snapshot. Actually, that could return a tile map snapshot. Move this down here. Oh, this could be just a void. Just replace this with this. Tile map snapshot. And when we hit the undo action, if the history index is... So this, we're going to need to do the undo part next time. What I could maybe do is have it when we... Is action just released ship editor brushstroke? This is where we can do this. So we can say... Take tile map snapshot. So let's see if that works. That'll be the thing. Let's see if we can... add a snapshot when we make a change. Crash. No? Okay, what about this? Crash. No? What about this? Crash? Nope. Okay, let's see. The remote tree. Tile history, array size 4. And look at all these different objects. Alright. We did it. All right. I gotta go. I got just a minute or two before work starts, but we've got our snapshotting system. It's unclear whether we can decode our snapshots yet. That is untested behavior, but yeah. I know I said this time was going to be the undo redo episode, but it looks like this is going to be a two-parter. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Hopefully a little earlier than I was today, and we'll knock this out. Yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks Cubus. Thanks Fody. Thanks Oyara-kun for the follow. Yeah. Thank you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.